Good morning and welcome to BOTB HQ in Parsons Green, South West London. My name is Christian Williams, a presenter here at BOTB, and we're here this morning to judge the latest midweek car competition which ran from the 8th to the 14th of April 2021. And just before I hand over to the lawyer this morning, once again, massive congratulations to last week's winner of the midweek car competition, Ian Bully, winning, there it is, a brand new Audi RS Q3 plus £30,000. I'd now like to pass over to this morning's lawyer from Onside Law, who'll oversee the proceedings this morning.
My name's George Cottle from Onside Law, and I'll be overseeing the judging this morning. Firstly, I can confirm that the competition data has already been sent to the auditing company as is. I would now like today's judges to introduce themselves and, using the secure link provided, mark on the screen where they think the centre of the ball should be. The group will then come to a final panel decision.
Good morning, my name is Matt Cannon. I'm a senior county referee and footballer and looking forward to playing this weekend.
Hi, my name is Ari Mendonca. I've been involved in football for over 30 years, firstly as a player and then as a referee.
Hi, my name is Matthew Ray. I've affiliated in multiple counties across England, currently in Gloucestershire, and I've refereed from grassroots through to professional academies.
Name's Liam Walsh. I'm a retired referee. I'm currently an FA observer and head coach for the Middlesex Referees Academy.
Good morning, my name is Alain Goma. I'm an ex-professional footballer, having played for Paris Saint-Germain, Newcastle and Fulham.
Hi, my name is Kieran Fitzgibbon. I've played football for more than 30 years and I'm now a senior county referee.
Good morning, my name's Andy Braithwaite and I'm a football referee, mentor and licensed observer.
Hi, I'm Jenna Scalacci, former professional footballer. I'm now a head coach in a Tottenham college programme.
Good morning, my name's Hugh Gilroy. I'm a referee, a mentor, a tutor and observer.
Hi, I'm Joe Thompson, former professional footballer. I used to play at Rochdale and Tranmere Rovers and now the host of my own BBC radio show.
Judges, please now come to a final panel decision. For your reference, the larger white cross is the calculated average of the 10 individual selections.
Thank you very much, George. Good morning, everybody.
Morning,
Matt.
Morning.
So we got three players in shot. There's a player in the background looking at the ball in the general direction of it's dropping down to his teammate. He's sort of crouching down a bit, mouth open, eyes looking up to the ball to play it. And the player in yellow is obviously turning his head. So he's following the ball, I believe, as it's going across the shot left to right. I will draw some lines in from this player. His eyes are sort of in line, so I'll take it from his sort of just between his eyes. And we come up through Joe, who's ever slightly higher than everybody else on this eye line of this player and in line with Alain. And from this player down here, we have two really good eyes. We have Joe's, which is quite a way out to the left of everybody else's, and coming up into a line up through Kieran and Andy's on the right-hand side. So Joe, I'll come straight to you. I'll highlight yours. You're quite a long way out to the left as we're looking at the photo. And how did you see the shot and what did you think was happening as the shot is?
When I look at this now, I think making my debut, I've messed up a little bit here, but I've gone off the player in yellow in a sense of I feel like the ball's popped up and he's now looking over his shoulder and it's traveling from left to right as we look at it.
Yeah, I agree with you. As I said, it goes through the line. If I draw another line lower, where it goes through areas, actually obviously quite a lot lower than, I'll undo that one and draw it out from where past his eye, because we have areas that's also a lot lower than yours. So it's quite a big, what we call quite a big quadrant to have the selection in. But thanks for your input. It's obviously a debut thing, but it is what it is. Ari, you've gone obviously lower than everybody else, and can you tell me how you've reached this decision? I mean,
Yes, I felt that the player in between playing yellow, he had jump in between both players in red and white. He misjudged the trajectory of the ball, and while landing, he's looking over his shoulder. And when I zoomed in his eyes, I felt that he's looking really to the corner of his eyes, and I felt that he's looking slightly, almost horizontally above horizontal. That's why I went for that position. And the player in front of the pitcher playing where he's looking really focused. The ball, I feel he's just in front of him. That was the main reason.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much indeed. I'll come to you. You're at the top of this sort of group of choices. How did you see this? Because you're sort of roughly in line with where Joe's and Matthew's choices.
Yeah, no, basically, when you look at the facial expressions of the two players at the front, they look a bit surprised. So I thought the ball might have been deflected, and the players were reacting. But looking at the play on the left, I think he was looking, a bit higher. When you look at his, especially his left eye, I think he was looking a bit higher than most of my colleagues.
Yeah.
And I think the ball being in the foreground also, I think it needs a bit of time to come down to the players. That's why I went a bit higher.
Yeah, sure. I mean, this player obviously is crouching, ready to take, and he's very focused. He's not being challenged. So, yeah, Matthew, you're just below Alain. I'll magnify yours. How did you see the picture and what was going on?
Yeah, I think it's worth bringing in the context that this is a very 3D image for me as I'm looking at it. I think the ball is out towards us as we see it, and I think obviously agree with most people in the red and white player, but the player in yellow, I see his face, I see his eyebrows are raised. His head is craned up, trying to look over his shoulder. So I just see the ball a little bit higher up, like Alain, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very good point you make that it's 3D. The ball's in front of this player in red. So, looking at this player, he's not looking through his nose. He's looking in front of his nose. So the ball is out in front of this red player. So that's a really good point made. Thank you. Jenna, you're in the middle of the choices here, highlighted yours, and I'll put the magnifier over yours. How did you see the photo?
Similarly to Matt and Alain, really. I think the player in red and white, he's fully focused. He's on the floor. That's why I've gone higher. I don't think it's immediately about to drop into him. And then I've taken the eye line of the guy in yellow and just taken a lot from his eyebrows, and they are like raised. So I took that as the ball was slightly higher.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. And Andy, you're just to the right of Jenna's here. You're highlighting yours. I'll magnify it. You're just ever so slightly to the right as we're looking at the photograph. Any other thoughts on the picture or what was happening?
Thanks, Matt. Pretty similar to echoing what Jenna just said there. For me, the guy in red and white in front, he's obviously crouching, looking up at the ball. Slightly to the left, very slightly to the left of centre because he's looking into it. Obviously, it's just 2D picture, but looking in 3D. The guy for me in yellow, the way he's glancing back, again, as previously said, his eyebrow raised just gives me that slight elevated position just above the cluster below us. Yeah. So I'm in agreement there with Alain, Jenna, Matthew.
Yeah, understand. And apart from Mario, I've obviously taken the group of 5 above this average here that I'm highlighting now, and there's obviously 5 below, which is the split. Hugh, you're just here highlighting there. You're just slightly on the right-hand side. How did you see the shot and what was happening?
Yeah, agreed. I think the big thing is how kind of far ahead of him it is, given that it's in the foreground. Yeah. I just felt, as has been said, player in yellow's kind of craning, looking over his shoulder, looking up slightly for me. Yeah. And then the player in red, I've just felt it's in front of him, but he's looking up towards it. If that makes sense. So it's not level with him. He's looking up, but it's
No,
it's
absolutely.
a distance from him because he's not moving to play it yet.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Kieran, you're highlighted here. You're just ever so slightly to the right, in line with Andy's, who's a little bit further up. How have you seen this?
Yeah, thanks, Matt. I tend to agree with most of the judges. I'm just taking a little bit from the player at the back, the one that's furthest away. I think his eye line. I do agree the ball is in the foreground in front, and we're using a 3D picture here, but it's not that far away from those players. And I think the player in the back is looking very flat and horizontal, and that's why I didn't think, although I agree with most of the colleagues when they say I've put mine a little bit lower because of that. I think that the player in yellow, we can't see, because the eye's right in the corner, we can't see exactly whether he's looking flatter or a little bit higher. It's not easy to detect exactly how low or high he's looking.
Yeah.
But I took a little bit from the player at the back, thinking that he's looking, even if it's in the foreground, he's not looking that high. And I think he may be focusing the ball, and that's why I placed mine a little bit lower than some of my colleagues.
Yeah, thank you very much. And before I do, I will change some lines and remove a couple of people at the minute. But Liam, you're here as well. You're in this this small group of 4 just below this average. Again, I'll highlight yours there. How did you see this?
Much to what the guys who are below the average are saying, and I fully agree with Kieran's comment that, I've written it down. The guy in the background has to see the ball for me with his eye line. I know you can't actually get that, get some lines coming out from him, but he has to have a view of it. But what I used for the guy in yellow was I took a line through both his eyes, because for me, he's looking into the foreground, but looking, his eyes are that way.
Yeah.
I pulled a line through him to give me that height.
Yeah, understand, because I am going to redraw the lines in a minute, which will hopefully help with your explanation, and I may come back to you in a second, Liam, once I've done that. So I'll undo some lines. I'm going to remove you, Joe, for the minute, because I think you're what we call an outlier. You're far enough away from the main group for me to remove you, although your comments are obviously very important. And I'm going to redraw lines, as Liam has said, through this player's eyes. So that's why he's gone. We've got Aries down there. So I'm going to bring it up to Kieran's there. And again, if it goes slightly higher up to Alan's at the top. I'm now also going to draw up from this player in red. So this is quite a tight, narrow view up from this player. So it's very sort of small right to left, and it's just the height of it. I've obviously left Aries, you'll see out the bottom of here, because if last one, although it's difficult to draw a line through, I think that this player here, we can happily say, is looking in the direction of this ball. He's looking up through into this ball. I'll remove him because it looks a little bit messy, but I think it's important that he's looking up. So if I, at the moment, remove Aries as well, it brings us up into a tighter cluster with 4 above and 4 below. And that's partly the reasoning to remove Aries. It's not because it's necessarily away from the cluster, but it helps to balance it a little bit with Kieran popping out the bottom and Alan at the top. So Liam, as I said, I'll come back to you now and basically ask your opinion about this. And you think that this is a better solution?
Yes. I'm going to give you a yes, Matt, that you got the 4 above, 4 below. It gives it that average in the middle. Unfortunately for Joe and for Ari, just a little bit outside. But that's the factors for me are the eye line of the guy in yellow, as I previously described. That sort of skewer through both of his eyes, because we're all really in agreement with the guy in red. He's in that channel. And for me, using, as Kieran mentioned, and as I noted, about the guy in the background having a clear view, it focus on the ball.
Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, it's also, I think, important. I mentioned 4 and 4, and if Aries low down, it does skew it quite a bit further down, which is, as we've talked about before, an awful lot of pixels. So Ari, I'll come to you, but just you're on the list below myself. obviously your selection is valid down here, but as a panel decision of all 10 of us, are you happy that it's moving slightly up?
Yes, I agree with the reasoning.
Okay.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Matthew?
Yeah, I'm happy with that as an average, yeah.
Yeah, great, thank you. Alain?
Yeah, happy with that, yeah.
Great. Kieran?
Yes, happy with that, Matt.
Thank you. Andy?
Yes, happy with that, Matt.
Yeah. Jenna?
Yes, happy with that.
Hugh?
Yep, happy.
And lastly, Joe, I know we've removed you, but do you understand the logic behind what we're trying to do and how we're looking at the photo?
Yeah, no, all good with me.
Great, lovely, thank you. So George, after a good discussion, we've decided to go through with this this point here as calculated there with Joe and Ari's choices removed.
Okay, great. Thanks, everyone. So if everyone's happy, please go ahead and select submit. Great, thanks, judges. The coordinates selected are 28951100. These coordinates will now be passed to the auditing company assets to calculate the winner of the competition, and they will then inform BOTB. That concludes the judging process. Thanks again, everybody.